the vast universe. In it is the Earth, a beautiful twinkling light. The Earth is another universe where various life forms coexist. Life proliferates even in the deep, dark ocean. In the frozen glaciers of Antarctica, in the flowing water of the waterfalls, in the barren sand of the desert, and even in the vicinity of boiling hot magma of volcanoes. These lives support human life from everywhere. Their values are undermined, for they are always with us. They are the new growth power of the 21st century, biological resources. As the bioeconomic era has opened, the global competition for R&D in bioengineering and securing biological resources is becoming more intense. In developed countries, the governments are investing to secure superiority in biological resources and working to secure them in underdeveloped countries with rich biological resources. To secure various types of biological resources which have infinite value, KRIBB Biological Resource Center is developing domestic resources as well as cooperating with overseas countries. KRIBB Biological Resource Center secures and manages core biological resources, develops core technology to find useful resources, and establishes a network of biological resource information. With the gene bank of KIST Genetic Engineering Research Center as the matrix, the center was approved by the government in 1985 and joined the World Federation for Cultural Collections and Global Biological Resource Center network. In 1990, it was designated as an International Depository Authority for the Budapest Treaty, then acquired the ISO certification, and was designated as the central facility for donation and use of research achievements, playing a pivotal role in the management of biological resources. For flawless procurement and management of national biological resources, the center runs 13 teams according to specialty. Each curator heads procurement and management of resources, research of resource development base, foreign support, and informatization. The 1,882 meters squared research building has equipments including GC, HPLC, real-time PCR, and MIDI. The center also has Preservation Room 1 for refrigeration of freeze-dried ampules, Preservation Room 2 where frozen vials are stored in liquid nitrogen, and super low temperature freezers, and a backup storage in a third location for security. With such facilities, the biological resources are preserved securely over long term. As of April 2008, KRIBB Biological Resource Center has 16,000 type and reference strains. It has 3,500 bacteria, 1,000 anaerobes, 1,900 yeasts, 1,800 actinomycetes, 2,700 molds, 300 plasmid gene, and 500 microalgae, as well as 150 animal cell lines, 650 plant cell lines, 3,500 patent strains. Biological Research Center provides regular deposit service for public use of biological resources and safe deposit service for safekeeping of resources. Also, as a central facility of biological matter, it takes in biological resources that are results of research. The deposited resources are kept safely to preserve their properties professionally managed by the category specialist. As the International Depository Authority of the Budapest Treaty, it takes deposits of patent strains. The microorganisms go through document screening and survival test. The surviving bacteria are then photographed and freeze-dried or kept in the liquid nitrogen tank, and backup copies stored in a third location. They are kept here for 30 years until the patent expires. The resources at Biological Resource Center are preserved safely according to their properties. Preservation facilities are made of non-flammable materials and have firewalls, CCTV, and authorized personnel-only system to prevent access by outsiders. In particular, if the preservation facilities have problems, an alarm system will go off, and the facilities will be restored immediately. It also has a backup storage system at a third location, just in case, further enhancing the safety of resource preservation. Barcodes are used in the management of all resources held by the center. By computerizing information about regeneration and parceling, effective preservation and systematic management was made possible. QCs are enforced to maintain the high quality and improve reliability of resources held by the center. The Biological Resource Center parcels out the resources for use by the industry and academics. As of April 2008, 50,000 units of biological resources has been supplied to researchers in Korea and overseas. Application can be submitted on the Biological Resource Center website, by fax or email. The Biological Resource Center acquired by the ISO 9001 certification for the first time in Korea. By standardizing processes and relevant documents, it has advanced the resource management processes. Recently, the center succeeded in isolation and culture of new archaebacterial species for the first time in Korea. Known to be a high added value microorganism, archaebacteria can survive in extreme conditions that doesn't usually support life. They can supplement the weaknesses of regular enzymes and be used in various bioindustrial fields. The Biological Resource Center gave the Korean name Chotkal to this halophilic archaebacteria that grow in traditional Korean fermented foods. As of April 2008, the center has developed 119 new species, including 110 new species of bacteria, 2 species of archaebacteria, and 7 yeasts. During the year 2007, it published 42 articles, 6 patent applications, and 3 patents registered. The Biological Resource Center has developed genome-probing microarray, which have 100 times higher sensitivity and specificity than previous microbial diagnostic oligonucleotide microarrays and monitor dynamics of microorganisms in various environments. Recently, the Biological Resource Center developed a new technology that can acquire genomes from uncultured microorganism single cells using digital MDA. Genomes acquired by such process can be used as microarray probe and allow monitoring of uncultured bacteria. To foster much-needed research professionals, the Biological Resource Center holds a workshop on cultivation technology and safe long-term preservation of microorganisms 4 times a year. Also, to keep up with the global trend where biological resources are gaining more importance, the center hosts seminars and conferences to develop the National Biological Resource Bank of Korea. Biological Resource Center newsletter is published twice a year to provide researchers with various information. Also, the Biological Resource Center is working towards strengthening international cooperation through international networks such as the Asian Consortium for the Conservation and Sustainable Use of Microbial Resources, Global Biological Resource Center Network, and Global Biodiversity Information Facility. It is fostering professionals preparing for MTA and securing resources in Korea and overseas. Bioengineering is the new growth power of the 21st century. As the core infrastructure of Korean bioengineering, the Biological Resource Center will carry out biological resource acquisition, development of core technologies for valuable bioresources, and construction of an information network, and support of various services to establish the basis for a prosperous era of bioeconomy. KRIBB Biological Resource Center will become an international biological resource center and a leader of biotechnology innovations.